Hey Lauren, so I am recording a quick little video for you going through your website. So I figured this would be a lot easier than trying to type up my thoughts. First of all, your website looks great upon like first glance. Um, the above the fold information here I'm looking at, so basically above the fold is anything that's not cut off when you first look at a web page. If I have to scroll down, that's considered like below the fold. So right here, it looks really good. You've got your title, your menu here, an offering you're doing here, which is awesome. I guess I can click off that if I need to. And then your like little slogan tagline, curating your moments. That's really nice. I will say that when I glanced at your website earlier, as I was scrolling down, which I like these little like captions here, that's so cute. Cute photo. Is that it talks about, sorry for the dinging, hang on, let me close it out. Like it's a little bit confusing because you've got like wedding photos, and then you've got a kid, and then you're talking about seniors down here. So it's a little bit confusing onto like what exactly you offer, like what type of sessions that you offer. So I would say if there's a way that you can maybe define that a little bit more on the homepage and just kind of say like maybe even, because right here it says book your wedding. So my first thought is that you are just strictly a wedding photographer, because your main image is a wedding image. The very first one I see when I scroll down is the wedding image. It talks about weddings here. So if I'm looking for a family photographer and I land on this page, I might click off just because I don't see anything that is what I'm looking for. I see weddings. So maybe adding in like something up in the menu that says, like instead of having like the galleries where it says, well, maybe just have something about where you have like weddings, seniors, portraits, or weddings and portraits. That way it just kind of gives people an idea like, okay, you do something else besides just weddings. So that's kind of my homepage thought. And then I would also, I know that up here on the little tagline thing up here, it says Oklahoma and Texas, but you might mention somewhere along here like where you're specifically located, or even just say like serving, maybe down here, serving the North Texas and Oklahoma areas, just something so people kind of have an idea of where you're located. It's also good for SEO. Okay, about. So see here, yeah, so I click on like your homepage gives me wedding vibes. And then I click on about and I see these cute little baby toes and I'm like, oh, well, maybe she does newborns or, birth or whatever. So it's just a little confusing. I read through your like about, and I really kind of think you need to flip flop your paragraph here. Just a personal like pet peeve thing is it drives me nuts when photographers say in their bio, I love photography. Well, I think my reason it drives me nuts, I'm like, well, I kind of hope you do because that's your job. It'd be like a bio for a teacher saying, I just love to teach. Well, yeah, that's what you do for a living. So I would assume that you enjoy it. So I don't think you need to say that. I think that your clients are going to know that you enjoy photography. I would start with this part down here about your firstborn being born a transplant recipient. Like, talk about how, like if you lead off with that, it's going to catch people's attention. Like if your first line of your bio is, my firstborn son is a transplant recipient. His difficult beginnings changed my outlook on life for the better, and expound on that a little bit, because really the about you should be like your way of connecting with your followers or people coming to your site. So you want them to have something that they can connect with you with. So maybe like as a mom, I would connect with that. It'd be like, wow, while my child has not been a transplant recipient, like I still have had moments where my having children has changed my outlook on things. So I totally get, that perspective. And you could talk about how like it's led you to want to capture these moments and like this whole squeeze every drop I can out of this life and document the small moments in life and not the perfect moments and things like that. Like, I think you could word this a little better to kind of invoke a little more emotion based on your perspective and your story. And I think people are going to connect with that a lot more than just starting off by saying, I love photography. So yeah, I think you could definitely kind of jazz that up a little bit. Okay, so if I click the email here, okay, so that opens email, perfect. I'm gonna close that out. Okay, all right, so then the book your wedding. Okay, so on here, I didn't play the video. I can do that really quickly just to kind of get an idea. So I'm assuming this is like a behind the scenes. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So it's like a wedding video from a wedding. Perfect. I think the only thing I would say about having these first is that it might give people the idea that you do, well, I guess I should probably watch more of this. I'm assuming, okay, so this is just like a video of your photos. Do you include videos like this for your clients? Is it an add-on? Is it something that they can ask for? Because if not, then I would maybe bump these to the bottom of the page. Just because if that's the first thing I see, then that's kind of what I'm going to expect as a client of yours, as a bride of yours. Especially since you have two of them here. I'd be like, oh, does she do videography? Or so I would lead off with some of your photos first, and then put the videos kind of down towards the end, or even just this little slideshow here would be fine. I don't think you necessarily need all three because you've got like video and then you've got like a collage and then you've got a slideshow. I would say pick one and kind of stick with that just to keep it consistent. You could even do a couple of these little slideshow things here from different weddings so they kind of get a feel for, your photos are beautiful, by the way. They can get a feel for like this wedding looks like this, and then maybe do like a collage of like, or a slideshow of these images, and then do a slideshow of these images. Oh, you did. Never mind. I'm totally losing my mind. Yeah, so I would just maybe make this one a slideshow as well, so that it's a little more consistent. Sorry, I was not paying attention to that one. Okay, and then the details over here, I would give a starting price, honestly. I know that's kind of a personal opinion. I just think that if I'm looking, I want to know at least kind of where you're starting at, or what the average bride spends. That way, if you tell me that you're $5,000 and my budget's $2,000, then I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time. So go ahead and just kind of give like a starting price of where, you could say, reach out for more information. Wedding package will be offered, and then just put like what packages start at whatever the price point is. Okay, your contact page. I came here earlier and it didn't, oh, there it is. It wasn't here earlier. Okay, perfect. I love having like the contact box here. I think if you can put a link to this page on other pages, so on your like book your wedding page, I would put a link down here that's like, instead of saying like reach out to me, like put a button here or something, that a link to your contact page. So if they're on this page, like, okay, I'm ready for more information, they can just click it and go straight to your form. They don't have to try to search for it anywhere else. Same thing with your about thing. You have the email link there, but I would almost make that like a link to your contact page. Just because I know like when I clicked on it, I don't ever use the email on my computer. I use a different email account to email people. I use my Gmail, so I don't like using that, but that's just personal preference again. Okay. Galleries. Cute, cute, cute. Looks good. Okay, so this is nice. You've got just your galleries here of different families. I would say definitely like for the galleries, mix them up. Don't have the same group, like family or kids every time. I also think that, let me keep going through real quick. Yeah, so I kind of like this style better. That is the cutest little face. Where they can kind of see the photos down here and have the bigger one here. On your families, it wasn't set up that way, so maybe create one for families that's the same style. I think that might go over a little bit. Same here. Like I think it needs to be consistent. So if you're gonna do, oh my gosh, it's so cute. So I personally kind of like this one better, just because I can kind of see all of them in little thumbnails, and I'm like, oh, that one looks really cute. I can kind of click through, as opposed to having to like scroll all the way down the page. I just think that the ones where you have to scroll down the page, people are going to click off a lot faster because they're such big images and they have to scroll and like really take it in. it uses up a little too much brain power. So I would definitely stick with the ones that are kind of this slideshow style. Investment. Okay, so on this one, I read through your wording, and again, make sure this is like it links to your contact page, and I would make this bigger. Like anytime you tell people to contact you, make it big. Let them know like this is how you get a hold of me. Your wording here was a little bit confusing, and I wouldn't say in 2019. I would just take that out and just say all sessions include. I would just, maybe say like, I wouldn't even say charge per hour, because really you have packages. Like I would just say that there are 2 package available, or 2 package options, or 3 technically, because the mini session one. Sorry. But I would just say like the difference is you're getting 1 hour versus 2 hours. So when you say I charge per hour, that makes me feel like I can say, well, what if I only want a half hour? Or what if I want 3 hours? Or does that mean I get to pick and, do I get to set the time limit? So I would say just maybe like change this to, I don't know. Honestly, you could almost even get rid of all this. I do like the part where it says like, take a look below. If you don't see what you need, we'll design a session for you. I would leave that. Take off the first parts because it's a little bit confusing. Leave the how to get a hold of you. And then I would just be like session 1, or, session 1, 1 hour. Session 2 is 2 hours. Session 3, limited mini sessions. Or leave this titled limited mini sessions because you only do them a couple times a year. Because I think the hour and the 2 hour thing, it could be streamlined even more. Just because, like I said, this kind of is a little bit confusing here. Okay, and then the blog. Everything looks good there. Yeah, I think you're good. I think the main things are on the home page. Maybe find a way to kind of let people know that you do more than just weddings, because on your home page, that's the main focus that I see. On the book your wedding page, I would add like a starting price and definitely a contact me link here. On the about me, go ahead and change up your wording here. Start off with like your story, and what led you to become a photographer, why you appreciate the small moments, that kind of stuff. Content with gallery, make sure they're all the same format. And then on the investment, change those to like the packages instead of all that wording at the top. Just kind of give them the options. So, all right. Well, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Your pictures are gorgeous, by the way. You're doing amazing work. So keep it up.